You're not my headphones. Oh my god. Better get Discord open. Better get. Oh, God, my brain. Oh. Is it blank? Alright, there we go. Spotify, don't piss me off. Just don't. I am not in the mood to be fucking with you right now. Rednala? Why are we talking about Elden Ring? What? Damn it, she was on 1/4 health, so I was close to stupid uppercut that one. It's a one shot in the second phase. How small is your health pool? Below 40? If so, then yeah, that sucks. My server, fuck off. Let me send out the goddamn live message. Anyway, how we doing? How we doing? It's been a long time. Been a healthy week and a bit, hasn't it? There you go. Doing a DLC only run, so yeah. Oh, never mind. Yeah, that sucks. Go collect as like many shadow fragments as you can then. If it's DLC only, I would say like don't even bother touching like any major boss until you get to like level 15 shadow. No, level 12 fragments. Fucking hell. A healthy week may not be the correct term. Yeah, no, definitely not. God, my body has been kicking my ass. Kicking my shit in. It's been so bad, I've not read or watched anything. Only the last, like, today, actually, I read the last chapter of Blue Box. Or was that yesterday? I can't remember. And I just read the newest chapter of Mad then. Bear in mind that I've physically not had the energy to do it. Not a brain, really. It's been ass. My Adventures of Superman has been out, and I've not been able to watch it. Season 2 of X-Men 97's been out. I've not been able to watch it. Don't you need to beat the hippo to get to more than level 8? No. You don't even need to beat the hippo to get into the castle. I don't think. I know there's at least 2 more ways to get into Mesmer's castle without fighting a hippo. And that's not even going into like the different cheeses of getting into the like red and blue area via the Dragon Communion place. Also, Vanilla is just an ass boss. Great boss. Objectively a great boss fight. Fuck her, though. Unless I'm doing a full magic build, give me your sister every fucking day of the week. And if I am doing a pure magic build, then give me Renala. Still sucks ass, but, you know. Not gonna fist me as hard. Oh, but yeah. Went to the doctor's today. Yeah, for that like little underground passage where you can go to it's where you can find Melania's like little like statue thingy, and where you can go to Miku Village, I think it is. No, that's Sekiro. And even then, that's still wrong. It's Mibu Village in Sekiro. I'm playing that on Saturday, by the way. Or Friday. Whenever the fuck I decide to stream. I'm too fucked. Hi, random. Anyway, I went, finally I had a chance to go to the doctor's today. And I've got to give three different, rectal results. I've got to get my bloods taken on Wednesday. And if all's good, I don't have cancer. It all might be good and well. Yeah, no, migraines, stomach issues, bowel issues, fucking back issues. Like, dog, I've had my shit kicked in. Hi, Jack. Like, no word of a lie. I think for the first, 4 days, I slept. I just couldn't do anything. I woke up, I shit, I went to sleep. Cancer, what did I miss? Oh, nothing. I have to do, different, rectal examinations to make sure I don't have, rare cancer. I definitely don't. I definitely just have, bowel movement issues right now. Probably IBS, but... why does every YouTuber get cancer? Because we read our comment sections for too long. Place is a fucking hopscotch. Josh is falling apart. Oh yeah, at the waist. Not even fun. Not even falling apart like Lego in a Lego game. I'm just dying. Oh yeah, that's also been a fun thing as well. Not leaving my house for 5 days. Chat, I could have killed someone. I could have fully killed someone. I've had no games on my PC because I uninstalled them all to try and make space just for my kittens to fucking destroy my Ethernet cable. I've had no money for an Ethernet cable, nor for being able to find one that's long enough. Found one, barely, but regardless, right? We finally got rid of most of our kittens. We've only got 3 left. It's Sunny, Kai, and Snowball. Then the only time I've left the house this week is to watch the England and Norway game. That was painful. Holy fuck. We've never played so bad in my life. Hi Tundle, I literally just read your comment. Or I saw your comment notification pop up. I've not actually read it yet. But hi Kayla. Don't kill someone, bro. That depends. I can't be in one place for too long. It drives me up the fucking wall. So yeah, first 4 days I was asleep. Last 2 days after that, I was like, fuck it, I'll just finish the Shab Sleep video. I can't leave my house. I'm going to the toilet every 20 fucking minutes. So I did that. That was fun. Definitely not painful. How did you enjoy that video, by the way? Almost at 1,000 views already. What's it on? I'll check. 871 views, 81 likes, 42 comments. So I'm assuming everybody enjoyed it for the most part. Yeah, great video. Yeah, you're not getting one next week either, Kayla. You can go fuck yourself. Finish all of Antarctica, Volume 6 and Volume 7. Good video overall. I'll take it. I'll take it. Did y'all hear about Diera has finally started reading Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, or is going to start reading it on our streams? Oh my god, that woman's gonna fucking... that woman's gonna be emotionally destroyed. Can't wait for the next upload in a year's time, innit? Well, no, to be fair, this one, it only extended as much as it did is because all of Volume 5, I have basically done it live. And splitting that up between Lord of the Mysteries, The Beginning After the End, Mad, Itchy the Witch, soon to be Kagurabachi. It was just a shit show, mate. Plus, going out and meeting people and trying to have a social life, then trying to have a gym, and also looking after the kittens and all that. Like, excuse me for the fucking video for taking goddamn forever. WVid, fuck yeah. Yeah, I saw Diara's fucking TikTok. Bacon followed me, by the way. She saw my like little Cassie skit. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Completely forgot you had TikTok. But yeah, I saw Diara making a video talking about how she's gonna read Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint next, and then at the same time trying to read the Circle of Inevitability, kind of at the same time, but not really. That woman's going to be emotionally destroyed by the end of the book. She is not fucking prepared. I really just want to hop on a stream, donate like a $5, and be like, are you at the Empreg yet? Oh, that'd be funny. Have you seen the German edition of Print Volume 1 Shadow Slave? Mine just came in today, and it's even better in person than it is in the pictures. I've seen it on Twitter and Instagram mostly. It looks clean as fuck. But I can't read German. Or I don't read German, so I didn't bother getting it. I got the English edition. How much have I missed? You missed me explaining why I've been sick, how the video got produced, and, that's it. Oh, and a possible small cancer scare, but nah, that's probably not even happening. But what happened last time in Shadow Slave? Sonny made a bridge, didn't he? Oh, for fuck's sake, I did it again! I'm gonna break this mouse. Chat, you have no fucking idea how badly I want to fucking... The German edition's already delivered? Yeah, and it looks clean as fuck. Looks clean as fuck. Is that right? Yeah, it looks about right. That's not even a right chapter, I just fucking realized. Alright, let's go, let's, bro, that's fucking text. I can read German, I just don't know. I can read German, I just don't know what it means. That's fucking based, I love that. Rip Shadow Cancer. I can't wait for the first chapter of the Mom to drop in 2 days. Oh, yeah, shit, that is dropping in 2 days. It sucks because I know it's only really going to stop at the Mountain King. And that's a bit doo-doo, a bit ass. But it does mean in, like, almost a month exactly, the actual Mom was going to probably drop all of the first Nightmare. So, like, what? 5, 7 chapters? Something like that. So that's going to be fun. Anyway, let's get into reading this. It's not going to be a long stream today. I'm still dying. And I want to sleep. As you can see, our old reliable is back. For the people who pre-ordered it, right? Yep. Yep. I'll probably read the first batch of chapters live when it comes out, because I'm really intrigued in how the art style is going to evolve. Yeah, that's kind of why I want to read it live. Like, I don't want to be spoiled on what Oro is going to look like. Because so far, we've kind of just made him look like a hot Ron Weasley in just knighted armor. And if it's more than that, then so be it. But so far, we're on chapter... Nope. Layout. If this shit... Oh, I had it wrong. Never mind. 10 chapters today. Let's get through it. 9:44. What is it? Alright. Safe and relatively sound. Dog, with how much fan art I have to fucking go through, yeah, neither can I. And if anything, I'm kind of just annoyed I've made my video like a year, before, so. Having official art would make my life so much easier. So much easier. Oh my god. Anyway. After the ominous mountain disappeared from view, hidden by the snowy slopes and darkness, the mundane darkness of the polar night, not the unfathomable true darkness that had just barely escaped from the convoy, came to a stop. Around them was a familiar landscape with the Arctic center. Deep in the mountains, they were temporarily protected by the winds and the overhanging cliffs, and they reached a wide area that was somewhat fit to serve as a campsite. The vehicles needed to be checked after the recent mad dash, and the people needed time to come to their senses. Plus, he had no idea where they were. Sonny had to scout the area, determine their location on a map, and come up with a route forward. He also needed to make sure that there were no swarms of nightmare creatures close by or heading in their direction, and do 1,000 other things. I don't want to. I need Sonny's official design. Bro, I want to know what he looks like. I want to see what Sleeper Sonny looks like. Because so far he's in the slave's body, right? Shut! Oh yeah, that's another thing. We got a new puppy. Forgot to mention that one. I'm not as happy about that one. Creating a bridge of shadows had cost him a lot of essence, but mostly a mental strain that had been the mental strain had been far worse. Sonny felt tired and lazy, but he had no choice except to be... Oh my god. Oh, fuck it. It's been so long that I've read that I'm fucking stuttering again. Didn't we get that in the preview? I don't think that was actually Sonny, though. What breed is the puppy? Dog, I have no fucking idea. I'm gonna be real. I don't care. I objectively don't like dogs enough to give a fuck about their breed. I don't care enough about animals to know their fucking breed. Snow abomination. Show abomination. Yeah. Didn't the slave look like Sonny? Yeah, but there could be, like, micro changes in, like, the hair and the height and all that, you know? Also, Sonny physically changes after the first nightmare anyway, so... And that's the Sonny we're going to be seeing for probably 2 seasons of the manga, if I had to take a guess. But he had no choice except to be busy right now. Rolling off the roof of the military vehicle, he landed on the snow, sighed, and sent his shadows to explore. By then, the members of his cohort and the others had already emerged from their transports. Some went about establishing a camp and searching for a good watch post, while some headed forward, while some headed towards him with complicated faces. Pretty soon, he was surrounded by the irregulars. A few of them looked relieved to find him safe and relatively sound. Others were mostly full of questions. Luster, who had witnessed more than the rest, was the first one to speak. Oh yeah, true, he gets hotter. Yeah, it's fucking weird. Yeah, I wonder how the difference after the nightmares will be. That's the thing that, like, makes me the most curious. Cause how much hotter are you meant to get? Right? Like, Sonny's a child, so he's objectively not meant to look hot. But he's also meant to look like a very disgruntled, like, child. He's also not meant to look hotter, in a sense. He's meant to look more elegant. Almost. Damn near feminine. So I don't know how you kind of portray that. It's gonna be. I think the artists actually have quite a challenging time with a handful of the fan artists that I've spoken to. When it comes to them creating a lot of the fan art, they fucking despise how G3 describes a lot of things. So having official artists have G3's confirmation and be like, "Yep, that'll do." It's gonna be interesting to see. Yeah, he's meant to look like a porcelain doll. They're going up the ranks to be gods. Of course, they're gonna look better. Well, I mean, like, yeah. He's described as a doll at first. Yeah. But even then, when he becomes a master, he's still, like... Not even as a master. Even, like, as an awakened, he's described as, like, fairly pretty. Which, I guess, being compared to a porcelain doll would do that. Captain, sir, that was something else. Sonny simply nodded, in agreement with the young man for a change. Actually, fuck off. I'm not doing voices. I'm tired. Luster hesitated for a few moments and then asked cautiously, "But what was it exactly?" He stared at Sonny and added in a sudden hoarse voice, "I don't mean the amazing bridge you made. I mean the other thing, the one that almost gobbled us up." "What, the little beetle thing?" Sonny did not answer for a while. Eventually, he shook his head, looked south with a dark expression. "I don't know." He had a few ideas, though. The being that dwelled in the old tunnels was too vast and powerful to be a simple nightmare creature. It reminded him a lot of the Crimson Terror in the Forgotten Shore, or perhaps it was also a terror. One that had gone under slumber to evolve into a titan, or maybe a titan that was in the process of evolving into a higher rank. Oh, shit. Okay. I think Jet describes him as a flower boy or something. Yeah. Which is basically just being like, you're pretty for a boy. As some aspects do enhance or change your physical appearance. That's true, but Sonny only really has like one. And that's just to change his hair color. Or maybe it was a creature that had entered the process of evolution, only to be devoured from the inside by a different, more insidious abomination. In any case, Sonny was certain that he and Saint had messed the whole process up somehow and lived to tell the tale. Speaking of Saint, he wondered if she was alright. The damn beetle was not seriously wounded him, but she was standing much closer to the airy black sphere. Whether it was a heart, or a harrowing egg, or a chrysalis, when it bursted open, Sonny had not seen his shadow since. Is Saint... What? Oh, no. He retracted Saint back into his soul state. I remember. He was also curious why she broke the stone sword. Had managed to harm the sphere when the cruel sight failed. Sonny knew that Saint was not destroyed, since he still felt her return back into his lightless soul after being dismissed, but she might have sustained severe damage. Sonny gave several orders to the irregulars, checked on Professor Roble, and then found a quiet place to find out. Somewhat nervous, he summoned Saint, but nothing happened. Damnation, just as I... Huh? Something wasn't right. The Tartantran demon's absence felt different from how it was when wounded shadows sleep in the nurturing black flames, repairing itself. He almost couldn't feel her at all. Concerned, Sonny dove into the soul sea, stared at the four dark suns of his soul cores for a few moments, and then summoned the runes. Marble Saint, Soul Serpent, and Nightmare. The runes describing Serpent was lifeless, indicating that it was outside his control. Saint, however, appeared normal. He concentrated on her name and read, Marble Saint, Ascended, Demon. Everything looks normal, however, the very end of the field shimmering runes, a new string of them appeared. Sonny's heart was skipping a beat. Marble Saint was... Oh! If the name is what I think it is, I will end the stream. If it's fucking Jade, I will end this stream so fucking fast you don't realize. Saint had a little snack for a treat, yeah. Saint was having a snack, and that snack was snacking on Sonny. What? He remained motionless for a while, then sighed. So, that's how it is. Leaving the soul sea, Sonny looked up, breathed in the cold air of the polar night, and smiled crookedly. He was both happy and despondent. Saint had risen to a higher class once before, after slaying the Forsaken Knight. Back then, she had ripped a strange dark jewel from his chest and ate it. Then, his shadow, who had been an awakened monster at the time, disappeared into his soul sea and entered the process of an evolution. Saint must have gotten something from the dark sphere as well. Sonny was elated to know that she was evolving once again, wondering what form his Shadow Knight would assume, and what powers she would gain. However, he also remembered that, last time, her evolution to a higher class lasted more than a month, robbing him of her support throughout the civil war of the Bright Castle. Oh no, so many people are gonna die in this arc, aren't they? This time too, he would be left out without his strongest aid for a while. Oh, there we go. Now we've got official confirmation that Saint's stronger than Nightmare. Saint must have known that too. So this time she did not return to his soul sea of her own free will, instead choosing to remain in the Awakened World to assist him. However, Sonny had dismissed her himself, not knowing that would entail. He sighed. Well, there's no other choice anyway. That was the only way to get her to safety back to the convoy. Now the safety of the convoy was laying squarely on his shoulders and his alone. Rest well, Saint. You deserve it. When she returned, her powers would undoubtedly be much greater. Sonny was going to need every bit of power to survive the rest of the Antarctica campaign, but for now, he would have to lead the convoy the rest of the way through the Erebus fields without the fateful shadow. I better get busy then. Oh my god. It wouldn't do to have Saint return only to see that we still stuck somewhere in the mountains. No, not at all. We're both going to be ascended devils, so we have to do hard work too, you know? Not to be overshadowed by my own shadow. He looked down and let out a bitter sigh. Again. Oh yeah, true. I forgot it's not the first time he's been just out-leveled. Forgot it's not the first time. Hey, Adam. Who's gonna tell him? Don't do that. The next chapter's out. How many? I can't wait for Saint's feats. Oh yeah, she would be a saint, won't she? She was gonna say, oh yeah, wow. Alright. Oh my god, it is gonna be fucking Jade. I just caught on to what Philly was saying. Oh, G3, you fucking hack of a man. I spent an hour and 30 minutes glazing your fucking story, and you give me Jade again? See, I told you guys Saint was going to become the devil in Antarctica. Yeah, that's true. There's no message of one chapter today. 9:45. 9:45. The road ahead. Somehow, almost everybody in the convoy was still alive. Looking at the roof of the Rhino, Sonny felt both burdened and surprised. He was not really expected to get this far into the mountains without suffering severe casualties. Was he supposed to feel proud of himself? Let's try and keep it this way, then. By now, his shadows had already climbed the nearest peaks, allowing him to observe the surrounding areas. The tunnel they had escaped. The tunnels they had escaped from might have not been endless, as they had turned out. It was still actually quite long. More than that, it cut straight through the mountains instead of merandering its way around the gorges and canyons. Fucking hell. It's not Jade for now. Okay. Don't worry, she won't be a Jade Saint. Holy fuck, the Saint become a Supreme? That's fucking funny. That is a ludicrously high level for Saint to be. If I take your implications the most literal way. It is Black Rock Saint. Honestly, that's kind of a badass name. I fuck with that. As a result, and due to the previous days of travel, the convoy had managed to cover a lot of ground, and it was more than a third of the way through the Kirbs fields. Sadly, the good news ended there. That is troubling. Sonny glanced at the screen of his communicator, then climbed into the interior of the APC and opened the map of the Antarctica Center as a projection in the command suite. They had reached the edges of the sections that he had marked back in the abandoned bunker. From here onwards, all Sonny had to go on was the stock map, which was not very detailed and outdated on top of that. The battle between the Saints and the Titans had changed the topography of the entire region, and the effects of the Chain of Nightmares itself to consider too. Of course, he could always repeat the process and update the map with the help of his shadows again, which was exactly what he was planning to do. And why was his current mood so foul? Yeah, why is your mood so fucking foul? You're about to get the Saint on your side, bitch. Onyx? Oh, fucking hell yeah. Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down? I mean, we got no admin, so can you remove it? Lava King, do you just want to be a part of the admin crew? Be thrown in with, like, the other 4 admins? I think I have 4 admins. Yeah, I have 4. Alright. Do you stream on any other platform? Not anymore. I used to dual stream on YouTube and TikTok, but my PC really hated it. Alright, bye random. I do actually. Alright, but honestly, I might stream on TikTok again at some point. Oh. 1 minute, before I read that, I'll make Lava King admin. You're in chat enough for me to be comfortable with it, so you're fine. But with TikTok, if you swear too much, you get restricted. If you smoke, you get restricted. That includes if you make it an 18+ stream. Like it's just fucking silly. It's a silly fucking platform, man. So don't bother. Anyway, what the doctor's messaging me? Oh, feedback. Never mind. The road to 7 moderators. Yeah, this makes 5. I wonder who the next 2 will be. TikTok stinks? It does. I like making videos on TikTok. Oh, always gonna be fun there. Not the comment section. I literally made a whole fucking video complaining about the comment section on YouTube videos, but on the TikTok videos. But yeah, bear in mind that it's an actual fun platform to make videos on. Also, hi Admiral. I think this is your first message in chat. I don't know. Hi Arma. Arma with a profile picture. Oh my days. Anyway, let's carry on. I wonder who's next. I have a solid idea who might be the next two, possible final two admirals might be, but admins even. But I'll leave that for future streams. What's wrong with comment sections? TikTok people are illiterate as fuck. It's embarrassing how illiterate people are on TikTok. Also, they spoil the fuck out of you for shits and gigs. Hence why I always have to make the preface. I'm just not going to read the comments. Like, spoiler alert, for YouTube audience, there's going to be a two-parted video talking about what I think Fated is and why it's connected to the Nine, the Weaver, and Sunny. It's 5 minutes long, and already that video has, I want to say, like, 15 comments. And I can guarantee you all of them are spoilery. Yeah, included flat comments. It has 13 comments and all of them are spoilery. Random and failure are prime admiral candidates. Yeah. That is true. Just start reading for the streams. That's why I don't come to the LOTM streams, but I want to. They don't really spoil me on the Lord of the Mystery stream stuff. That's the thing. I'm not reading them. I was reading how many comments. It's 11 comments base, but I have to scroll all the way down. I'll see a couple meme images, that's just TikTok. Honestly, best feature. GIFs and meme images, thank you TikTok for that one. But, there's always restricted comments that TikTok just won't include for some fucking reason, so I've got to open that up and be like, alright, 1, 2, 3, yeah. My divine aspect is LARP slave so I can read the comments. Fuck yeah, go crazy then. Anyway. Of course he could always... Oh. With Versailles, Sonny started to put new marks on the projection. Soon, the position of the convoy was surrounded by a sea of red lines and symbols that stretched far to the north, with barely any green in between. Damnation. The path ahead was going to be rough, to say the least. They must have been relatively close to the place where the Free Saints of the First Evacuation Army had battled the Winter Beast. The Goliath and the Whispering Legion eliminating the latter Titan. The resulting earthquakes had destroyed the good chunk of the mountain range and made a mess of the surrounding area. Sonny was trying to come up with a way to get the convoy through that mess, and it seems all but impossible. Most of the roads had been destroyed, and those that remained were buried under heavy debris. Avalanches, landslides, and rockfalls were everywhere, reshaping the landscape, and the damage was far worse here than Sonny had expected. And then there was the nightmare creatures, of course. The whole area was seething with them. And if he had already spotted at least 24 active gates, with more probably hidden from view by the overturned terrain. Fucking hell. Oh, okay, that's fair. We're only on, like, what, chapter 50? Something like that? My floor is being tied. My floor is dying, apparently. My floor is talent. My aspect is talent in sports. I just can't sport because I'm tired. Well, you know floors are meant to push your character. So you got to push through that tiredness, or find ways to be more efficient at your sport. So you know the rules. Oh my days! I have 1,499 soul shards. Why do you need that many? Oh my days! I need to go toilet. Oh, fucking hell. Oh my days. Oh, that one hurt. Yeah, Lava King, you're lucky. Become mod immediately, have your name changed to LARP. Also, there's 18 of you and 10 people that have liked their stream. You know what to do. Go like it. Let's go. Anyway. Sonny was not sure if the Rhino was able to make it through, let alone the civilian vehicles. No matter how he had tried to find a safe route, there seemed to be none to be found. His moon turned dark. After a while, Sonny decided to get a fresh pair of eyes to take a look at the map, or better yet, several. He ordered the irregulars together in the APC and invited Sergeant Gain as well. I love how much he's including Sergeant Gain. I kind of fuck with his character a little bit. He is a whipped bitch, don't get me wrong, but I kind of fuck with it. The fuck do you mean that one hurt? I've been sick for a week, and I went to the doctors today to go find out about that. And every time I've shit, which is about like 7 times a day recently, it hurts. It hurts like a bitch. I think you should give up. Nah. Never. Professor Obel was already there, so Sonny simply asked the old man to join him in the command suite. Soon everybody arrived and improved the strategy meeting standard. Improvised the strategy meeting standard. The result was about as disturbing as Sonny had expected. No one seemed to have a good idea on how to proceed. Dawn was currently pointing at a certain point in the map. If we use our echoes to lead the nightmare creatures deeper into the gorge, we might be able to drive past this gate without being swarmed by enemies. From there, we can follow the auxiliary road to pass and get some breathing room. Samara shook her head. Even if we manage to avoid the nightmare creatures, you are overestimating the civilian transports. Most of them won't make it through this extremely rough terrain. We're already struggling to keep them from falling apart, and this whole stretch of the mountain is basically a high-intensity obstacle course. Prepare for your first trial. I feel like I'm missing out on a whole fucking conversation here. I'm reading chat and I'm lost. What? Was there something whilst I was at the toilet that I just fucking like glanced over? That wasn't calling Lava King a warp? The one thing about reading Lord of the Mercenaries to keep in mind is that a lot of different types of being pregnant. Whether that's Empreg, regular, melon preg, it never ends. What the fuck? Excuse the fuck out of me? I moved the monitor to read that clearly. What? Bro, I bought a PC to a tech shop for a simple fan replacement, and it's been 17 days. It can't be this on. Have you went to go pick it up? Kalo? I don't know either. Yeah, no, that's fucking crazy. Just laugh. She sat and then looked at Sunny with a somber expression. There's one more thing that everyone is forgetting about, too. Fuel cells. They're not exhausted yet, but we've gone through a gauntlet like that will put them under strain, which I don't think we can afford. Driving through the mountains is one thing. Driving through this disaster zone is another. Damn, thought you missed that. No. I went back to see what everybody else was fucking talking about. Yeah, just haven't fixed it yet. How many fucking PCs did he gotta fix? If it's been 17 days, it's a fucking fan. There's 2 of those bitches, and I'm assuming it's the simple fucking one that needs replacing. Oh my god. Sonny frowned and glanced at Sergeant Gain. Can't we improvise something to change up the transports up? To charge the transports up? The soldier hesitated for a few moments. Eventually, he sighed. We can cannibalize the military vehicles, if need be. The power systems are not exactly compatible, but with the help of the awakened Kim and Tamara, some sort of converter can be rigged. The soldiers can join the refugees inside the transport, but apart from the obvious loss of defensive capabilities, there's another factor against that solution. We are not high on energy reserves ourselves. The transports are much more power hungry. So it won't be a drastic change, maybe a difference of another 100 kilometers or so in this cold. Sonny let out a heavy sigh, thinking of other solutions. I mean, I've got an idea, I just don't think Sonny would like it. Knowing that last time, everybody he kind of got to know over the last, 2 weeks had died over it. But I think that's his only real solution here, isn't it? Sonny let out a heavy sigh, thinking of other solutions. There were all kinds of wild ideas in his head, like hitching one of the transports to Nightmare and letting the Black Steed pull it like a mundane druid. The Rhino could manage one too. Hell, with a proper harness, Sonny would be able to pull one of the transports himself. That would be a something to be all. That's really funny. He grimaced. Join the army, she said. You'll earn a lot of contribution points, she said. Curse it all. The silly ass series, man. Why was it was it why he had become an officer? To be strapped onto a damn yoke and pull a wagon like a glorified ox? The idea was ridiculous anyway. Sure, it was theoretically possible to pull the civilian transport in case they lost power, but what about heating? What about the light? What about the civilians survive hundreds of kilometers of traveling through the mountains in the middle of the polar night without those things? I'm preparing the bingo sheet. What bingo sheet? What? We have not in common. No, to our ship are like the bird because of the eye. We lack the fourth direction. There is no hope in the filth that is the heart. What? What? Waluigi. The idea was ridiculous. Anyway, sure. I already read this. At that moment, Luster suddenly spoke. There is an option that we're all overlooking, isn't there? One that is not only visible, as far as terrain is concerned, but it could also get to the Phoebus fields within a day. The others looked at him with confusion while Sonny's face darkened. Yep. The young man smiled sheepishly and then added, I know it's risky, but it's right under our noses. With that, he pointed at the map. At the very edge of the mountains, a thick red line was stretched across the far north. The coastal highway. Yep. Yeah, I thought this would come in. Sonny's favorite place to be. Sound like Bill Cipher. Sorry, my floor kicked in. I don't even know what the fuck your floor is meant to be. Translating fucking wingdings to English? Fuck. Yeah, anyway, chapter 946. The scenic route. The coastal highway, that damned thing. Sonny was, of course, aware that traveling by means of the highway was an option. An incredible option, even, considering that the highway was wide, flat, and kept good condition. Stretched most of the way to the very northern edge of the Arctic center, as it skirted the whole landmass between the mountains and the ocean. But that was exactly the problem with it. But along the coast, it was both awfully close to the water and utterly exposed. Here in the mountains, we were hidden from most of the prowling nightmare creatures by the terrain. We can use it to their advantage. Out there on the coast, nothing would be protecting them from the horde of abominations, both of those on land and those hidden beneath the waves. Reality is an illusion. The dream realm is a hologram. Buy soul shards. Bye. If I don't see you tomorrow, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That's all that text reminds me of. Sergeant Geen and the other survivors of the initial, very much larger convoy could attest to the horrors of the coastal highway. My mouse wasn't aware then. They had barely escaped at once, losing most of the transports and every member of their awakened escorts in the process. Indeed, the soldiers looked incredibly tense at Luster's suggestion. With all due respect, you do know what you're talking about. That place is a death trap. A handful of us managed to survive a shorter journey across the highway. Then what are you proposing? And even that was by some miracle. Luster scratched the back of his head. Yeah, but your situation was different. Geen frowned. How so? The young man looked at him with surprise. I mean, isn't it obvious? You didn't have the captain with you. Okay, Luster, what the fuck's with this oral lobby? What the fuck is with this oral lobby? What? Sonny stared at Luster for a few moments, dumbfounded. Did that fool finally lose his mind? However, Sergeant Geen reacted to the ridiculous response was out of his expectations. Instead of mocking Luster, the soldier looked down and cleared his throat in embarrassment. Well, that is true, indeed. Sorry, there's been a lot of Bill Shorts on YouTube lately, and they've been on my mind. Buy crypto, suckers. Sounds like a fucking loser. Luster loves to glaze Sunny whenever he can. I mean, fair, but that also just sounds like half the community, realistically. Fucking nose. Buy the heat memory, sucker. It will prepare you well for the Antarctica campaign. Oh boy. Sonny blinked a couple of times. Thank you for the vote of confidence, but I'm not a miracle worker. I'm afraid of the coastal highway too. Oh, fuck me. It's gonna come again. Buy synth paste, suckers. There's a reason why he had chosen a much longer, much more arduous journey through the mountains, after all. Even if the highway offered a convenient path to the destination, it held a much higher risk of running into something that none of them was prepared to handle. From hordes of nightmare creatures akin to the devouring cloud to the damned terror that had slaughtered every living soul at LO49, to countless other horrors no one knew about. Even running into a titan was not out of the question. The winter beast was being contained somewhere in the north by St. Tyrus. The location of the monstrosity that army commanded had designated as Goliath was currently unknown. Nothing was stopping the bastard from showing up at the moment of the convoy, so we know our next opponent. That's fun. However, traveling through the mountain had turned out to be much more dangerous than Sonny had anticipated. Despite his habit of always expecting the worst, by now he had successfully managed to lead the convoy into pretty much every possible terrible situation that they had been supposed to avoid by not choosing the highway. That buy crypto suckers was before crypto was worth anything, so you had to listen to Bill back then. Well, truly, the man sounds like he outsmarted us all. Kind of like that one video of the guy being like, Bitcoin's like £6. It's going to gain interest. And now he's like worth 2 billion. I love how you called St. Tyrus St. Tristan, you a bit. I was calling it wasn't until I did the tier list of Shadow Slave characters and how I'd rank them in power, and where everybody was like, why are you calling her Triss? It's Tyrus. And it just never appeared. Like, it never even bothered to correct it in my head. And that was recorded way before I made that live stream. With the path ahead so close to being passable and the civilian transport falling apart at the steep, unreliable mountain roads, the more dangerous routes were starting to look more and more attractive. Kim sighed. Sorry, I'd hate to argue with Luster, but there's about 600 kilometers between us and the Ebers Fields. Even if we go straight, of course, we'd have to maneuver through the mountains and circle around them in search of a passable road, fighting nightmare creatures as we go. I doubt many of us will make it. She sighed and then threw a tentative glance at Sunny. If we descend onto the coastal highway, however, and go at full speed, we can cover about 600 kilometers in a matter of hours. Of course, it is a huge risk, but this isn't it even bigger risk to stubbornly push forward through the mountains if it means staying in the wild for more days? Maybe even a week's more? Sunny winced. Kim was somewhat right. The coastal highway was dangerous, but so were the mountains. They were teeming with nightmare creatures of all sorts. They were too hard to navigate in the wake of the earthquake. There was also the matter of time, which no one except for Sunny and perhaps Professor Obel seemed to be aware of, since they were not looking at the bigger picture. The bigger picture, from what he could tell, was not looking too swell. The First Army was not earning any victories against the tide of abominations. Instead, its position was gradually worsening. Those additional days and weeks Kim had mentioned were much more important than she had knew. For more than one reason. Sunny sighed. In the end, both choices were terrible. Remaining in the mountains was a bit safer, but also a bit hopeless. Trying to change to the coastal highway was much more dangerous, but also offered much more realistic chances of salvation. Rest in peace, Sam Neill. Oh yeah, I woke up to that news before. It's fucking devastated. Rest in peace, Jurassic Park, man. No. It belonged to a velociraptor. It was like rolling a die. Do I feel lucky today? No. Sonny, since you've joined Antarctica, right, you have been nothing but exceptionally unlucky at almost everything you do. You've been damn near eaten alive. You've been barely surviving hordes of nightmare creatures. You almost got in the way of Tyrus versus the Titan, or whatever the fuck she was fighting, in where you ended up getting the Soul of Solace, which the Sword of Solace, which I don't trust at all, not even a little bit. That sword scares the fuck out of me. When Josh read about Tyrus, Triss even. Anyway, then you end up going to LO49. Getting there already was a bitch, because you had to fight fucking hordes and hordes of nightmare creatures. Then you got to LO49, and 14 to 1600 people died on your watch. Then you learned there might be a fucking nightmare creature on the moon that is constantly watching you. You also learned the world might be collapsing in on itself a little bit. Like, brother in Christ. Then you ran into fucking civilians, and you had to get away from a horde of Kizu from Monster Hunter. Then you ran into True Darkness that led into an infinite loop. Don't you fucking dare for 1 minute say you feel lucky, bitch. Time to get chunked by an unholy titan, dead ass. I don't trust this at all. At the same time, he's been so lucky that he survived all that. So it is a perfect 50-50 split of hilariously lucky and Sunny actually being an incredibly smart protagonist about everything. Like, he's lucky he's got the Weaver's lineage in his back pocket at all fucking times, telling him, hey, shit's about to go down, fucking run. Bear in mind that He's not been that lucky. All this is happening meanwhile Serpent is chilling with Rain in Rain's shadow, just straight vibing. Yeah, Soul Serpent's having the time of its life, just being away from Sunny. Next month, the Monworth Shadow Slave is here. Yeah, we'll probably read that live. I'm not gonna lie. Wait, what nightmare creature in the moon? It's heavily implied when Sunny was looking at the moon. When Professor Orbital was like, "Hey, don't fucking do that. The moon can look back at you. Don't." No, that's Fated, not Weaver. Same difference at this fucking point. I'm gonna be real. Charles! Puppy's going insane. Anyway, let's keep reading. Actually, get the ZT interview, get the stream the 16 likes, and I'll show you the puppy. You're out with the sin, or like the sun. You are even the sin or son. He remained silent for a long time, then deactivated the projection and looked at the people gathering in the command suite. Everybody tensed, waiting to hear his decision. Sunny tiredly rubbed his face. Prepare the vehicles to go all out. I want them to be able to keep the top speed for at least 6 hours without ever slowing down. Do everything you can. I don't care if the transports completely fall apart and explode after that. Just make sure that nothing breaks down on the road. Either way, it'll probably be the last ride, so prepare well. Charles, the guy from Blue Lock? No. No. Can't wait for the Lord of the Mysteries MMORPG. Didn't they just release gameplay? Like, only fucking just release gameplay of that? Insane. Anyway. We'll be taking the scenic route along the coast. With that, everybody was suddenly extremely busy. Getting a convoy ready for the high-speed charge across the coastal highway was not a small task, especially considering that it was most likely going to turn into a rolling battle. Sunny was one of the few soldiers that had nothing to do, so he simply went outside and stared at the night sky with the full moon staring back at him with a giant blind eye. They did? Yeah. 1 minute, I'll get it up. I'll be honest, it doesn't look impressive at all. I'm gonna be so fucking for real with you. It doesn't look that great. Sunny, what are you doing? I want to make sure this is the correct... Yeah, this is the gameplay one. Yeah, see, actual gameplay. Sorry, my bad. Anyway, gameplay looks stiff as fuck, right? It looks nice. Like, the dodging animation kind of reminds me of, like, Sun Wukong. The fighting animation reminds me of, Wither and Waves. But that's kind of my issue with it, because Wither and Waves gameplay is... like, it's one of those games that you have to play it to understand why I say it's as stiff as a fucking rock. And I have a high suspicion that when you're fully fucking playing this one, it's probably going to feel like Souls of the Fallen. I don't know if any of you have played that Souls-like game. It's bad. Don't play it. I highly recommend stay 10 fucking feet away from that pile of dog shit. It's so fucking bad. Souls of the Fallen is one of the worst fucking Souls-likes I have ever played, period. Anyway, I'm not looking forward to it. I feel like the world's going to be really fun to explore. I feel like the game would be, like, generally, for Lord of the Mystery fans, it's going to be fun. But I feel like for me, who has, like, actually no information on this universe so far, with how far I'm in it, I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. I will say the boss fights look like they're going to be electric. But it also might definitely just be a case of this probably just isn't going to be for me. Talking like an absolute brick wall. Fuck off. Josh, you can't play this game. It's going to have lots of big spoilers. Shit, Sherlock, really? Wouldn't have guessed it. Anyway. I also just realized that's slightly off. That's fucking annoying right now. There you go. The transport vehicles looks fun to run over people. Listen, it looks great to me. Yeah, I'm just saying my opinion on it. I'm saying my opinion, which is it looks like it's gonna be fine. Like a nice, healthy 200 hours, you can easily dive into that shit. Maybe it might even expand a lot of the lore that Lord of Mysteries already has, which I feel like would be really interesting, knowing the arduous process a lot of the writers of the game had to go through with Cuttlefish, putting them through that fuck-ass test. I've not seen the test. I just know I've heard it's dog shit. It might not be for you, but I'm loving what I'm saying. I see a lot of people play illegal runs. Probably. Anyway. A few meters away from him, the lone sleeper of the convoy was busy applying black venom to whatever bullet Sergeant Gaines' soldiers had left. He was also doing the same to his arrows. Suddenly curious, Sonny called out the young man. Hey, you. What do you think? Will we make it? The sleeper looked at him with wide eyes. He was apparently not expecting to be addressed by the captain. Yes, sir. Sir. Sir, yes, sir. Without doubt, sir. Sonny chuckled. That's the spirit. Oh, right, I was meaning to ask, what's your name anyway? The sleeper stared at him blankly for a few moments, then looked down and whispered under his nose. God damn it, what the hell? Really? Sonny frowned. What was that? The sleeper flinched. Oh, sorry, sir, it's just that, I've already told you my name like 20 times. It's my flaw, sir. Everyone seems to forget. What the fuck? That's a terrible flaw. What's that, X-Men? Fuck! Fuck! What's the X-Men? Forget-Me-Not! That's his name. Why do we have Forget-Me-Not in fucking Shadow Slave? Flinch! Flinch, where are you? Cancel his flaw, my friend. Let his name be heard. To make sure they know the media they're going to make the game on. Yeah. Nameless Sleeper, that goat. Best endurance feat in this series, and I won't say more than that. What? The Nameless Sleeper has the best endurance feat in this series? Who's he fucking? Effie? What the fuck? Is he fucking a god? Or Tank's a god? What the fuck? That's hilarious. I love that. Best endurance feat in this series. That's fucking hilarious. That's definitely a sex joke. I need to know who he's fucking. It's Effie! Yes. He's a lucky man. His ass meant to luck and he fucks Effie. God, I am envious. I saw those 3 fucking dots. I saw those 5 dots even. Knew immediately. Oh my god, if this setting doesn't fuck off, I might kill someone. In this moment, we can only choose one of 6 paths. Seer, Mystery Prior, Spectre, Bond Warrior, and Apprentice. Bond Warrior is a new one. I've not heard that one. Everything else I've already heard of. God, that is so fucking funny. Thank you, Lava King. That's hilarious. What chat are you seeing that on? What, you think Effie's gonna end up with some random with no character? Absolutely. Absolutely, you kidding me? G3 has enough characters to give enough of a shit about. This, Huh? Sonny scratched the back of his head. Well, alright, as you were then. What a strange flaw. Not the worst one I have, though. He left the sleeper alone and walked forward, stopping in front of the rhino and looking ahead. Then, he started stretching his muscles. The road ahead was desolate, and the environment in darkness, enveloped in darkness. This is going to be a wild ride. What if we like the stream so we can see the puppy? I said get the stream to 16 likes, and I'll show you Charles. I said this verbatim, bitch. Oh, so Nova Fire's gone now. That's fine. Fucking whore. Oh no, I've made it worse. Oh no, I've made it worse. Fuck off! Jesus Christ! That better? Fucking barely. Alright, there we go. 1 minute. Alright, fine, they end up together. Happy? Yes! Fuck off. Don't bring in any more mice. I was asking to stream. Yeah, that's fair. Well, I will tell you this now, Charles is probably the cutest dog we've ever had, though. That's just a given. Anyway, chapter 947, The Highway to Hell. The small convoy turned west, rolling down the narrow road that descended from the mountains and eventually met the coastal highway. The Rhino was moving in front of the column, with 4 remaining civilian transports following it, and the 3 battered military vehicles guarding the rear. 1 minute, I just fucking realized. Yeah, there we go, that's much more fucking readable. Fuck me. This was Sunny's siege. This was Sunny's siege army for the next 6 hours or so. You think she'd let him? No, I imagine he ends up like a wood plank. Oh my god, this poor nameless bastard. this poor nameless bastard. I know Effie must swallow you in. That's a fucking crazy comment. Random. Random. That's fucking insane. Random. That's insane. Fucking hell. Compare. That's insane. I understood. I understood. Don't worry. You didn't have to write to him. I got the fucking message. Oh, fucking hell. That's funny. It should have been me. Fucking snorted. Fuck. The 3 armed vehicles at Sergeant Gaines' disposal still had some ammunition left, just barely enough to last them through the rest of the Ubers fields, provided they were in charge. Provided that they charge across the highway, that would be as dire as Sonny anticipated. The civilian transport was not only flimsy, but also lacked any kind of integrated defense system to ward off the attacking nightmare creatures. However, they were protected by something far more lethal: the irregulars. Samira was already setting up her rifle to improvise gun nests on top of the roof of the nearmost transport to allow the awakened sharpshooter complete freedom of picking off targets from a distance. Quentin was by her side, letting his sword and shield ready to strike down nightmare creatures that would dare to get too close. Get in line, buddy. Get in line. Fucking hell. I can't remember if I've already made the joke or not about, did I make the joke about G3 wanting to fuck Effie? With how he tries to write her. I remember 100% I made a little segment talking about how G3 definitely originally intended to write a little sub-romantic plot for Effie and Sonny, and then backtracked on it, realizing how fucking stupid it would be. But thinking about it, that man wants Effie so bad. Anyway, Kim was on the roof of the next vehicle, with a dozen magazines of charge rounds prepared and advanced in her carbine. The nameless sleeper was keeping her company with a bow and a quiver of poisonous arrows. Belle and Dawn were protecting the last 2 transports. Both had memories capable of Both had memories capable of ranged attacks, but neither was a proficient marksman. The main job was to prevent abominations from attacking the refugees directly. G3 really intended your name here, huh? Yep. Yeah, 100%. 100% he did. And I fucking refuse to believe otherwise. I simply refuse. Simply, it would make no fucking sense if he didn't try to, honestly, with how he writes. I guess it really is Effie specifically. Because he doesn't really sexualize anybody else like that. Bear in mind, I guess, Jet? When you realize that the Disney's Bambi movie came out in the 1940s, meaning that they were likely both older than your parents, and proof that 2D animation just ages like wine in comparison to early CG tunes. Yes, counterpoint though. Bambi fucking sucks after the first 15 minutes. After the first 15 minutes, it's one of the most boring fucking films you will ever watch in your life. Same with a shit ton of the Renaissance era Disney films. Cinderella ages poorly. The third movie is way better. Way better than the original film. Not even fucking close. Pinocchio makes no fucking sense. The fucking movie makes no fucking sense at all. What else is there? Sleeping Beauty, also not entertaining at all. What's her name? Mother fucking whatever her face is. Like, the antagonist of Sleeping Beauty. Great. Has some iconic ass lines. Other than that, boring movie. Boring movie. Boring fucking movie. And that is an issue with a lot of the Renaissance Disney films. They hold up fucking spectacularly visually, but God, you're gonna fucking fall asleep watching them. What are we talking about? How Renaissance era Disney fucking sucks. There's a handful of great films in there, but that's it. Yeah, Dumbo came out the year before Bambi. Also, just a what the fuck kind of film. Like, it's the same as Pinocchio, in where several instances of it, you're like, what am I watching? This is unbelievable animation for the time period it came out in. What the fuck am I watching now? The Hunchback of Notre Dame? That's complicated. Right? That is a tonally deaf film. That is a tonally deaf film, if there ever really was one, right? It's a movie that tries to be funny when it has some of the most grim, dark animation, themes, and characters Disney has ever fucking made. Oh, another Renaissance Disney film, Pocahontas, I would dare say is the worst Disney princess film by fucking far. By fucking far. It's the worst. It's so fucking bad. But that's, anyway, but The Hunchback of Notre Dame, that's kind of its only issue, though, in my opinion. Oh, and half the music's kind of meh. But bear in mind that, it's good. It's just, it just needs a total fixer-upper. The Dumbo trip scene was crazy animation for 1941. That's crazy animation up until the fucking 80s. That's crazy animation up until the fucking 80s, in where Japan really decided to be like, you know what? Let's fuck shit up. Release Devilman. Release Devilman. Fuck it. I said some of the fucking music. Like, a lot of the up-cherry kind of music for the first half of the film doesn't work. It's not that good. Sonny! Hellfire is great. That is at least a half of the film! Listen to what I am saying! The first half of the film, where it's kind of tonally all over the fucking place, when it's trying to set up like a really dramatic scene, is a tonal fucking whiplash with the second half. The second half is fantastic. The music, the animation, the character development, the themes, the antagonists, it's all fucking fantastic. Hellfire is in that second half. I'm saying the first half is bad. One movie I hate with a passion is Happy Feet. I don't mind Happy Feet. I think it's silly. I think it does its silly ass job perfectly fine. I just had to Google because I wasn't sure whether the movie I was going to mention was made by Disney or not. It wasn't. But I really liked the movie Anastasia. Anastasia's a banger. Anastasia's a banger. Certifiable. I commented both of those comments before you said anything. Oh, that's probably just a latency issue. That's definitely just a latency issue. Where the comments will come in for like 20-minute delay. Anyway, let's carry on reading. As we've barely made any progress today. And I think I might have to change the title to 9:45 to 9:50. Because I'm dying. Sorry, yelling really took the energy out of me. Oh boy, the energy fucking left my soul. All those transports have been prepared for the charge as well as the soldiers could manage. There were plates of armor and alloy spikes wielded to their sides to make a makeshift ram attached to their fronts, with a pale imitation of the rhino. And lastly, there was the heavy APC itself. Since Saint was gone, Sunny was sitting on its roof instead holding Morgan's warbow in its hands. Despite the howling of the chilling wind, he did not feel cold at all. Fueled by adrenaline, his body encompassed by the dull steel of the undying chain, the dying wish hidden beneath its sleek breast. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I can't speak today. He was ready for the battle. Traversing the highway as fast as possible, killing anything before they had a chance to approach the convoy. That was the plan. Not that Sunny really expected anything to go to according to it. Blackie and Abomination were running ahead. Fucking who? Oh, the dogs. Yeah, never mind. We're running ahead of the column, serving as a vanguard and forward scout, while Nightmare was still slumbering in the depths of his soul. The Dark Cruiser was already sufficiently healed to be summoned, but Sunny was holding back on calling him until things inevitably went south, which they will. I just know they will. Disney had that decline era that led to the animation leaving. As a result, those animators went and started DreamWorks Animation, started working on the best 2D animated films in the late 90s and early 2000s. Treasure Planet was the last 2D movie, I think. I don't think that's correct. I think Princess and the Frog was. I think Princess and the Frog was the last 2D animated film made by Disney. No, it's Winnie the Pooh in 2011. While many people mistakenly remember Princess and the Frog in 2009 as the final 2D film. Right. I mean, fair though. It was my brother. Anyway. I thought it was Sinbad in 2004 2005. He meant DreamWorks? I forgot about that yellow bear. What was the last 2D animated cinematic release then? Oh, yeah, I guess. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie back in 2025. Good film, by the way. Very fun. But, yeah, and then there's Ghibli. They never really stopped. But I guess... What about, no, because that'd still be Western. It'd still be the Looney Tunes movie. Hi, Rish. Fair. No, that's a valid comment, Lava. That's a valid comment, Lava. Traverse the... traverse the highway, killing anything before they had a chance to approach the convoy. That was the plan. Not that Sonny really expected anything to go according to it. Blackie and Abomination were running ahead. Oh yeah, I already read all this. Descending on the mountains was easier than rushing through them, so it did not take long for the convoy to finally reach the stretch of the road before the coastal highway. The terrain had turned much smoother, and then entirely flat. Finally, the beams of light shooting from the Rhino illuminated the wide expanse of the weathered concrete, the dark waves rising and falling not too far behind it. We're back to Shadow Slave. Amen, 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 amen. And for the people who decide to just hop into the stream and for the shits and gigs, like it, get it to 16 likes, and I'll show you the new puppy. Minecraft mods are so strange sometimes. Why do I have an egg to craft a revolver? Oh, that's something else. Wait a minute, Sonny loves his APC, right? He's a fucking mage bot player? What the Doodle, shut the fuck up, man. The highway was wide enough for 10 APCs, the size of the Rhino, to drive side by side, but a section of it separated from the main throughway by a thick barrier. Behind it, to the closest mountain slope, a railway stretched both north and south, meant to carry armored trains across the landmass. They still left enough space to maneuver, but also paced the convoy closer to the ocean. The full moon shone in the black sky, drowning in the undulating light of the ghostly aurora. The highway was utterly empty and basked in a pale moonlight. All of it. The dark slopes of the mountain, the wide expanse of the road, and the black waves beyond it looked eerie, ominous, and foreboding. However, Sonny had no time to appreciate the ambience. That was fast. A few 100 meters ahead, 2 echoes had already caught the scent of nightmare creatures hiding in the darkness. Unfortunately for them, very few things could hide from Sonny's gaze in the gloom of the polar night. Even before Abomination had a chance to lunge at the dark shapes laying in the road, a black arrow flew from the sky and pierced the head. At least Sonny thought it was the head of the monstrous centipede that seemed to be resting on the concrete. You have slain an awakened beast. A moment later, an echo's powerful jaw crunched on the centaurus carapace of a different abomination, while Blackie jumped onto the third, trying to copy the ferocious attack of the larger hound. A second arrow helped him finish the job. Without slowing down, the Rhino plowed through the corpses of the massive centipedes, tearing them apart and clearing a way through the rested convoy. Without slowing down, Sonny felt the APC vibrating as it gradually gained more and more speed. The coastal highway seemed to be in good shape despite the recent earthquakes. So nothing was slowing them down. For now, at least, it seems as though they had a chance to make it to the Aber's fields in a timely fashion. However, he could already see more nightmare creatures in the distance, their frenzied eyes slowly igniting with dangerous flames as the light and the noise of the convoy attracted their attention. There were unclear shapes moving in the slopes of the mountains, too, rising in the darkness and starting to descend forward on the highway to intercept the column of human vehicles. Much more disturbingly, the black waves continued to murmur to the speeding convoys left as they continuously assaulted the shore, coming and going without showing any signs of a howling threat beneath the dark surface. Tundle, my goat, we all hate APCs. I mean, I like the Rhino. I think the Rhino's really great. I'd say the Rhino's probably been the best part of Volume 5 so far. I think it's a swell guy. The lack of movement filled Sonny with much more unease and swiftly approaching silhouettes of the murderous abominations. Whatever it is that's going to show up, just show up already. There was no response. Gritting his teeth, Sonny turned away from the ocean and raised his bow. Ugh, my nose. Chapter 948. Anyone watch The Witch of Mongolia? Is that the anime you put in the random chat? Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of it, but I haven't, not yet. Also, we on 16 likes? We are. So, do you think the rhino will survive? No, if Luster dies. Yes, if Luster survives. And I kind of hope it survives too. It's like the only comfy space Sunny has right now. And unfortunately, I have grown a little bit of emotional, like a little bit of emotion for a lot of the like main cohort right now. And I know at least, look, I think one of them's only gonna survive. I'm gonna be completely honest, and that sucks. Hey Zontic, yo, how are you doing? I'm fine. We've been reading the last 10-ish chapters of Shadow Slave, but we got to 16 likes, which means puppy time. So I'm gonna show you my new puppy. Anyway, here's puppy. Name's Charles. Charles is a good boy. Got him about 2 days ago? Like right after we got rid of 6 of the 8 kittens. 5 of the 8 kittens even. Great. Lovely time. The creature is wrinkly. Amazing creature. My mother tried to call me. I don't know what the fuck about. So I'll just speedrun these next 2 chapters or so. Happy ending. We can have a lot of things. It doesn't automatically mean that everyone lives. The sand thing doesn't mean everyone dies. No, but that's usually the indication. Give him a month and our dog operates. We'll have full control of the entire country. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Anyway, chapter 948. A dire marathon. With all kinds of nightmare creatures who had apparently decided to take a nap on the flat concrete surface of the coastal highway, bestial maws opened in vicious snarls, sharp mandibles dripping with viscous saliva, jagged claws, curved bone scythes, and various implements of death that Sonny did not know how to describe. Yeah, that is a lot of way to describe different ways you're gonna get cut up, brother. I took over England with chunks. No clickbait. Go wild. The faster the vehicle moved, the faster the abominations converged on them. Damnation. Sonny was standing in the vibrating roof of the Rhino, drawing Morgan's warbow time and time again. In a short span of time, he had let loose the vibrating rain of arrows, slaughtering at least a dozen of the approaching nightmare creatures. His muscles were already protesting the unforgiving pace, but the augments with all four of his shadows, Sonny knew that he could keep the same pace, the same rate of fire for much longer. The battle was only starting anyway, although I tried to burp. Although the battle marjorie of monsters rushing towards the convoy seemed ghastly and dangerous, these were only the dreads of the nightmare creatures. They were lone stranglers of larger packs of abominations that had broken away from the larger swarms and hordes, as it did not pose much of a real threat. For now, they were only attacking the column at the front. Very soon, Sonny and his people would be surrounded by the force to resist attacks from all directions. To postpone that, Samara finally opened fire. Most of the creatures on the highway were obscured by her other transports and the wide shape of the Rhino, but she had a clear shot of the mountainous slope of the abomination. Yo. Mother asking about my general health after the doctor's visit because I couldn't talk to her. She was in work. And having to explain to her the weird dietary options I've had to take to make sure my stomach wasn't dying. Anyway, back to the reading. To put a shining slug flashed through the air and one of the distant silhouettes ruptured, mangled remains sliding down the steep slope. Even before the echo of the first thunderous shot dissipated into the cold air, the powerful rifle was already humming with electric whine once again, charging to split another devastating round. I'm not fast enough to kill them all. For now, Sonny was conserving the essence. He was only using one of the active achievements on the mighty warbow, Soul Arrow, which did not demand a lot of it. The Dying Wish was also active for now, since there was no need to draw the attention of the abominations away from the civilian transport yet. He considered summoning the Strike of Thunder for a moment, then decided against it. The charge forward to the Eber's fields was going to be a marathon, not a sprint. They would have to be frugal with how they spend their power and resources. Belgium already got smoked. Belgium did not get smoked. They put Spain through the fucking ringer in the first half. And to be honest, I don't think Spain's winning the next match. I don't think Spain's winning against France. God, I hope we get a 2-1 win against Argentina. I fucking hope it. Bellingham, we fucking need you, man. We need you so bad. Harry Kane's been shit for 2 games. You need to carry the team on your shoulder. You've had 6 man of the matches already, consecutively. You need it. Get on the 7-game streak. But I'm definitely going to watch the France versus Spain game tomorrow. Josh, you really got to read properly. Did I not read that properly? Belgium already smoked them. Oh, the American comment. Yeah. I kind of feel bad for America on that one. I'm not going to lie. They got fucking annihilated. I felt really bad for America. I can't lie. It was like one of the only World Cups I've ever watched and where I've been like, America has a chance to go far here. And to be fair, kinda did. I think it's like the farthest, at least, World Cup America have gone. What's the furthest America has ever been in the World Cup? Is it only, We're all with the English. Yeah, this is the only time as a Britishman where the entire world has been finally on our side. We have Miku. We will keep Miku. The Miku art, by the way, insane. Holy fuck. I will say, for the Miku art, though, I appreciate how every single person, bear in mind one artist, and fuck that artist, has made Miku buff as shit. Like an absolute fucking unit. Specifically the Norway Miku. Been hilarious. Instead of laying waste to the approaching nightmare creatures with a strike of lightning, he picked the most threatening ones and concentrated on taking down these high-priority targets first. Abomination fearlessly dove into the mass of enemies, tearing apart with ruthless determination. Since there were very few fallen creatures among the first wave, most were much weaker than the massive Eka. Blackie, however, was in danger of being slain if he was not careful. The smaller hound separated and dashed to the edge of the highway, concentrating on attacking the outer line of the rushing mob. So far, so good. Brazilian Miku got me acting up. I mean, yeah. Yeah, no shit. everybody saw Brazilian Miku and was like, oh! Oh, so that's what you make Miku look like if it wasn't a traditional Japanese girl. Huh. Interesting. Sunny killed most of the nightmare creatures that could seriously threaten the Rhino, but at that point, the APC was only meters away from the swiftest of attackers. Moving at top speed, the enormous bulk of the Rhino smashed into the lunging abominations, practically pulverizing it into a cloud of crimson haze. That's sick. The second creature crashed into the concrete as with an arrow in its eye, and then the convoy was in a thick of the disorganized crowd of nightmare creatures. Miku with brown hair. Wow. Look, everybody first over Brazilian Miku. Like, it's not even fair. Like, how much better Brazilian Miku is comparison to just regular Hatsume Miku. It's fucking brilliant. And you know what's really funny about the British having Miku right now and the art that's coming out of it? None of the Miku art is hot, but they look cool. At least the sophisticated British Miku looks kind of cool. The chavvy-ass Mikus look fucking ridiculous. Can I just like so. That's brilliant. But yeah, no, everybody kind of agrees that, like, Norway Miku is just buff as shit. And it's entirely because of Holland. Right? It's entirely because of Holland, because he's a fucking giant of a man. But Miku, if it's like a little bitch girl. Miku, if it's a normal ass fucking adult, or at least a Western adult. And then just Norway Miku. It's great. It's a fantastic time. And of course, there's the Harling and the Bellingham. Oh fuck, what's it called? What's the show called? I can't remember. The gay one. I can't remember what the gay show's called. Heated Rivalry. There we go. American Miku would have a gun. American Miku would look plain as shit. It would either... Alright, American Miku would either look like someone from New York, your average-ass farmer, or someone from Cali. You know, being the 3 biggest states of America. I feel like a farmer Miku would probably look best. Too bad they never had a turn. They were never going to. If they're up against Belgium, the only time they would have had a chance to make an American Miku would have been in the finals. And that's if they had won it as well. Anyway. Some of them were quick enough to charge and change direction and dash towards the civilian transport, and others were too slow and allowed the column to flash past. Then wasted precious seconds to stop, turn around, hurry to pursue the speeding vehicle. The turrets of the military vehicles barked, sending poisonous bullets towards the abominations that were fast enough to catch up with them. Ignoring the rest was not their goal, nor was it realistic. To slaughter every single nightmare creature across the 600 kilometers of the coastal highway, but then again, there was no need to. American Miku would look like the Atlanta Lock with guns. This is stupid. I'm not even giving it the dignity to fucking throw on screen. I'll give Blue Lock another day. I'll give Blue Lock another chance in the future when it ends. But I'm not giving it a chance now. Texas Miku in a cowboy outfit. I was gonna bark. I was gonna bark. I was fully gonna do it, and and then I was like, There's about like what on average 20 people watching this stream, guys. No, guys, Miku with cowboy outfit. Fucking hell. They only had to kill those that the convoy could not outrun. Samara continued to fire her rifle, choosing to concentrate on the more powerful targets, just like Sunny had. On the next civilian transport, Kim was using her carbine to cut down those who had managed to get close to the column, while the nameless sleeper was sending one arrow flying after another. Bell was using a small throwing hatchet that gruesomely sliced the abominations apart and then magically returned to his hand. Oh my god, is Bell fucking Kratos? What the fuck? Dom was armed with a set of iron javelins that seemed to hit much harder than they were supposed to, even with his prodigious strength. Right, sorry. Fucking. The convoy cut through the first wave of nightmare creatures, leaving broken bodies and bleeding corpses behind. Its defenders continued the barrage, finishing off those nightmare creatures that were now gaining on the column from the back. Sonny rotated his shoulder and winced slightly, then knocked another arrow on the string of his bow and froze for a moment, peering into the distance. He tried to evaluate the situation. His face darkened. Curse it. A few hundred meters ahead, a stream of nightmare creatures was spilling on the highway from the mountain slope, and then even further away, behind them, the whole width of the road was blocked by a dark mass of a monstrous body. This time, it was a proper swarm. One of many that they would have to fight their way through, most likely. Sonny studied the swarm for a split second, then quickly glanced at the ocean. At least the dark waves were calm, for now. With a contentious sigh, he sent an arrow flying in the direction of the mountainous slope and drew his bow again. This time, his fingers were illuminated by a furious light of the carnage by the caged lightning. Kinda gas. He's gonna turn into Zeus for a minute. A moving slaughterhouse? Beautiful. Captain! Your gunslinger has returned. Oh. What? Look at the different Mikus. Ooh. I'll look at it in a minute, Admiral. I just got a weird message. One minute. I'm gonna look weird for a minute. I need everybody to calm down. No. See more of my forehead. There we go. Because I can't be asked. Here you go. I got sent that right after being called a slur, so that's fun. Person can say the slur, I just don't know how to feel about it. I feel both violated and loved. Peek again, CV? Oh yeah, nope, I don't remember. Huh? I don't know. Anyway, chapter 949. As soon as the strike of thunder flashed through the darkness of the polar night and bursted into the blinding arcs of lightning, decimating the center of the swarm, Sonny spoke with his communication device. Wage formation. He created a rift in the middle of the mass of nightmare creatures, but it was not enough to clear a path through the blockade. There was a flanking force spilling through the mountains to worry about too. The abominations were already dashing towards the convoy, bits of broken cement flying from beneath the sharp claws. The fastest and strongest one, however, suddenly collapsed. A golden arrow pierced its throat. Behind the Rhino, 2 military vehicles and 2 civilian transports accelerated and left the column, assuming position on both sides of the convoy. From behind it would have looked like a wedge with an APC at its point, while the other 4 vehicles formed its wings. The purpose of the formation was very simple. With the massive shape of the Rhino not blocking their view of the road anymore, both military vehicles and the Awakens on the roof of the 2 civilian transports were free to target and the swiftly approaching storm. The storm is approaching. The purpose of that formation was very simple. With the massive shape of the Samira's rifle thundered and Kim's carbine cracked, sending a rain of bullets into the massive abominations. 2 turrets joined the fray, clearing a path for the convoy to charge through. Sonny continued to let loose arrows after arrow. After taking down the most threatening of the nightmare creatures, just a few moments before the column reached the swarm, the 4 vehicles veered back and returned to their positions, hiding behind the bulk of the speeding Rhino. Here we go. The round with the APC plunged into the mass of bodies, both dead and alive. With a violent shudder, pieces of flesh flew aside from its cleaved and bloody trail through the mob of the nightmare creatures, allowing the rest of the convoy to follow, as they made it through, even if it's just barely. However, not all as well. More than a few abominations managed to lunge at the lead vehicles from the side. 2 or 3 were clinging to the front of the Rhino, while several more had crashed into Bell and Dawn's transport vehicle, with their claws were already tearing into the alloy. Oh. Pain is not fun. The more heavy-armored Rhino received a few ugly scars, but was still holding. Sonny swiftly drew his bow, finishing off the unwanted passengers behind him. Bell dashed forward towards the edge of the transport roof and struck down with his hatchet, severing the abomination's limb before it had a chance to rip through the makeshift plate of the armor and allow the beast to climb inside. There was a nightmare creature on the other side of the transport, but its body had been caught on a spike welded along the frame of the civilian vehicle, so it did not manage to rip through the hole before one of Dorm's javelins took it down. The giant man himself dealt with the abomination that had leaped at his transport by pulling it down mid-jump with his aspect ability. The creature hit the cement surface of the road instead of crushing into the side of the vehicle, and was promptly crushed by its wheels. The weight of the transport, loaded with close to 100 people, was not enough to kill the awakened monster. Although it was severely injured, the abomination still tried to get up. Before it could, the next transport rolled over it, and then the next, ending the creature's life in a string of sickening crunches. Just a few moments after crashing into the swarm, the convoy was through. The turrets of the military vehicles instantly turned around, unleashing a barrage of bullets at the fastest of pursuing nightmare creatures. Samira's tungsten rounds and Sonny's arrows took care of the most resilient of the enemies, while Kim was hurriedly reloading the carbine. The nameless sleeper had almost emptied his quiver, so he was busy summoning the spent arrows back. The thinned out swarm was falling behind. Fated. Surely this won't get worse, right? Fated. This is getting boring. Fated. I know you can do worse. Fated. Let's kick it up a notch. Fucking Christ. Right before I end stream, as I was crazy. Uh, but there was already a new enemies approaching from the darkness ahead. Letting out a frustrated sigh, Sonny spun north again and drew his bow. This is gonna get old fast. Surrounded by bloodshed, the convoy continued to devour kilometers as it sped across the wide highway. The battle never really stopped, instead stretching into one continuous moving slaughterhouse. Even if it had not been too many nightmare creatures near the coast of the stars, the lights and the noise and the changing column mixed with the smell of fresh blood, attracting more and more of them from the mountains. All that ever changed was the intensity of the combat. We need more games that are antagonistic towards the player. Been playing Dragon's Dogma. I think its format is almost perfect for a Shadow Slave game. I've not played Dragon's Dogma. I've heard it's very good. I've just never played it. Sometimes the defenders of the convoy only had to repel disorganized mobs of stragglers, killing them off before the abominations could launch an attack on the vehicles. Sometimes a true swarm would appear to block off the road, forcing them to fight their way through the sustaining minor damage and the desperate trying to prevent anything to getting to the refugees. Fated as a masochist? Fated's been the masochist. Despite it all, the vehicles were in a good enough shape to remain operational. For now. The Rhino was covered in scars, and its ram, as well as the whole front section, had been slick with blood. I will fucking choke you, cat. Stop it! Fucking cat, man. Getting on my nerves, been nothing but moaning. Had turned slick with blood, making it look like an infernal machine of morbid carnage. The civilian transports have chunk of flesh stuck to their spikes, and deep grooves left behind the claws of the abomination decorating their sides. The barrels of the turrets on the military vehicles were glowing red, steaming as the chilling darkness of the polar night cooled them down. That's crazy. People were starting to get tired, but, prepared to give it their all, to reach the destination, continued to perform their duties with stalwart determination. The highway itself was changing as well. The further north they moved, the more nightmare creatures and the more signs of sustained damage there was. Wide cracks appeared in the concrete, and the column had to maneuver around broken vehicles and carcasses of massive abominations from time to time. The latter picked clean to the bone from other monsters. Killing the enemy before they had reached the column was getting harder and harder because of these obstacles. At some point, Sonny tensed as he noticed an especially troublesome obstacle blocking the road ahead. His face darkened. What now? Hi, Sake. Last chapter of today. I'm getting tired and sore, and I also need to feed the dog. So we'll make this chapter the last one of today. What is this? Sonny getting a movement of peace? Nah. Let me let me a minute and figure this. Saying that fucking Sonny's never gonna get away from Faded. Anyway, chapter 950. Derailed. I swear there were 5 more. There is, but I'm tired, I'm sick, I'm sore. I'm trying my hardest to not go to the toilet right now. And the puppy needs feeding. And I need to do other shit too. So what was meant to be 10 chapters, ended up becoming 5. Sake, we're about to end. It's fine. We can just grab Sake by the head and just put him onto the next stream. He'll be fine. Still some distance from the convoy, the whole width of the highway was blocked off by something that looked like a tall wall of alloy. It was surrounded by a scene of pure mayhem, with torn pieces of metal and massive chunks of concrete laying on the road in a chaotic mess. What, I just came in and you're finishing it? Brother, yes! It's been 2 hours. First stream back in a week and I'm still ill. Let me off. I've been dying here. You know how much energy I've forced in this stream? Too fucking much. Sunny Scowl to fuck off. Sunny Scowl trying to make a scene. See? Not that hard, is it? Fucking prick. Sunny Scowl trying to make a scene of what he saw. After a second or two, he uttered a silent curse. If settings keep popping up, I will fucking destroy the mouse. Leave my head alone. No. Your head's mine. I'll do with your head as I choose. And I choose for you to be in the next stream. Chat, I'm on chapter 30 of Shadow Slave. She's caught up! Good job, Alma! Good job! 9:55 is awesome. Then I'll read to 9:54. Who's railed? Six railed. He got railed by Jet not too long ago. I will. Ahead of them, the barrier between the forfeit and the railroad was shattered into pieces. The object he had thought to be an alloy wall was actually the roof of the train carriage, laying on its side. One of the most armored behemoths must have been derailed here at some point in the past, turning the whole section of the highway into a nightmare of broken concrete and mangled alloy. I gotta catch up. I stacked like 10 chapters. Stacked up like 10 chapters. It's all good, and whenever you want, Josh, just waiting for next stream. Next stream's probably gonna be a chill stream now, I'm not gonna lie. It'll probably be like a Wednesday, fuck it, let's play a Sekiro stream. I've been craving to play Sekiro all week, dude. All fucking week, and now I've got an Ethernet cable. Oh, can't wait. Damnation. Sonny had ridden an armored train once before, so he knew how fearsome these moving fortresses were. What could have even destroyed an alloy beast like that? He wasn't sure that an earthquake was enough to derail one of them, even though one of the most reasonable theories he had. In any case, Sonny had more pressing problems than guessing the fate of the crashed train. The convoy was not allowed to slow down. The fragile equilibrium that it was able to create was all dependent on the assumption that the column would keep moving. If it had lost speed, or even worse, was forced to stop, they would have no escape from the death that would simply drown nightmare creatures. However, the wreckage of the derailed train was thoroughly blocking the road. Sonny grimaced and then spoke in a short order on the communication device. Sam and Quentin made the echoes fall back to the rhino. I'm so sorry, that burp came out of nowhere. Then he closed his eyes for a moment and reached forward with his senses. After becoming a master and coming to Antarctica, Sonny had received no opportunities to test the limit of the shadow manifestation in combat. Now, he knew that his ascended abilities was way more powerful than he had thought, so he was going to call it once again. Before the convoy reached the wreckage, the shadows of the slope of the mountain came to life and flowed forward, forming long tentacles. These tentacles tore through the alloy of the overturned carriage. God damn. Taking a hold of it, they pushed the massive structure to the side. A deafening sound of metal scraping against concrete filled the air. Come on. The concrete was moved. The carriage was moved just far enough to create an opening for the approaching rhino. The APC pulverized several chunks of the concrete barrier with its ram, clearing the road, then maneuvered to the side and slid past the mangled alloyed structure. Behind it, the highway was revealed to be in a terrible condition, so it took a lot of skill to navigate the rhino past the mess of broken metal. Luster was just the man to do it, though. He had masterfully avoided all the serious obstacles and rammed through those that could be destroyed without ever slowing down. Yo. Luster and Cassie might be in contention for best drivers in the series. Throw them in Fast and Furious 15. I don't think they'd do anything, but throw them in Fast and Furious 15. I'd like to see a challenge be made here. Fuck it, actually. Throw them in Need for Speed. Throw them in Need for Speed. I want to see some real shit go on. Wow, bro streams early. I had shit to do tonight. Which is mostly just sleep and recover, but yeah. Rado just plowed through concrete like that, but it couldn't plow through metal. Interesting. A metal alloy, even. I just woke up. Fair enough. We're about to end. Yeah, that's true. It's like 10:40 where I am. Oh, fair enough. You are not. What do you mean? We're only 2 hours and 21 minutes and 40 seconds into the stream. The carriage was oh yeah. The rest of the vehicles weren't as large as the APC, so it was not too hard for them to follow. Several abominations crawled from the wreckage to lunge at the convoy, but they were swiftly pierced by an arrow and poisonous bullets. Soon the convoy left the field of debris. But instead of being relieved, Sonny only gritted his teeth. Obscured by the remains of the armored train, there was another swarm of nightmare creatures ahead of them. This one was much larger and much more dangerous than the previous one. Worse still, since they were late to discover it, there was not much time to thin the abominations out with a ranged attack. The convoy was under a real threat. God damn it. Luster and Cassie are Drift Nation certified. Also, your mod now, Lava. Yeah, it was Lava and Admiral, but Admiral had only sent in one message at the time, so I was like, "Do you want to be mod?" It's about time you became mod. Funk edits could be made off Cassie and Luster for real. Yo, that's so fucking true. Worse still. Oh wait, no. Oh, yeah, no. Worse still, they were late to discover it, which meant no time to fan out the abominations with ranged attacks. The convoy was under real threat. God damn it. Sonny briefly glanced at the black bow in his hands, knowing that its power alone was not going to be enough this time. This situation was dire, which meant it was time to call the cavalry. He considered summoning Nightmare near the Rhino and stylishly jumping onto its saddle of the roof, like he had seen cool heroes and webtoons do. But then decided against the theatrics. It was not that Sonny was not capable of landing on the back of the galloping horse from the moving vehicle. It was just that the Nightmare saddle was a memory, and it had to be hosted on the steed by hand. Each time that he had to summon it. That just sounds fucking annoying, brother. By now, Sonny was capable of riding the horse without a saddle, but using any kind of melee weapon effectively without stirrups was more or less out of the question. Stirrups were essential to mounted combat, insignificant as they might seem. Did anyone play the Avatar fighting game that had a beta last week? No, I didn't even know the beta had came out. And frankly, I don't play fighting games. I enjoy them when I can. I'm assuming Harsh deleted a message then because I'm very confused why he's freaking out. By now, I know. Sonny, by now, Sonny was capable of riding the horse without a saddle, but use. Oh yeah, he sighed. I guess I'm just not cool. Fuck off. With that, Sonny summoned Nightmare directly on top of the roof of the Rhino, simultaneously calling upon the Sin of Solace and the overpriced saddle. Soon the fearsome black stallion was standing in front of him, looking forward with a ferocious crimson flame burning in his eyes. Nightmare snarled, revealing 2 rows of metal fangs that resembled those of a wolf. It seems that he had plenty of sleep and is hungered to tear some abominations apart. The moonlight glittered onto the dark surface of the cruiser's adamantite horns. Don't you worry, you'll get your chance to rampage just a few moments. Sonny swiftly put the saddle on the cruiser's stable back, fastening it into place, and just at that moment, Samira's rifle barked, sending a shining round flashing into the darkness. A cruise of the bestial howls was a reply. He cursed, grabbed the hilt of the Sin of Solace, and jumped onto the saddle. He closed his eyes for a moment, scenting the insidious whispers assaulting his mind. Today they seemed especially clear. He took a deep breath, looked forward, and sent Nightmare charging. The black steed lunged forward, jumping from the roof of the Rhino to the tall ark. Inside of the APC, Luster flinched as the adamantite hooves thundered right above his head and then craned his neck to stare at the swift shape of the leaping steed. Oh, what the hell? And then paused for a moment and added in a stifled voice. Damn majestic. Plummeting towards the massive abominations, Sonny gripped the hilt of the Sinosaurus tighter and poured essence into the dying wish, activating its soul enchantment. Let's teach these bastards the true meaning of the true fair nightmare. The true meaning of fair nightmare. Whoo, boy. That was fun. Good to see Nightmares back in action. Good batch of chapters? Oh my god. Oh, I'm so sore. I'm gonna take my headache medicine after this. Fucking hell, my head is killing me. Yeah, don't look at the past, only dream the future. And I totally didn't slip up today. Yeah. And I'm totally not gonna make a clip of it as well. Not at all. I'm gonna show your name in the blue text to signify that you are a mod that spoiled me on it. So you don't have to worry. How are the little kittens? There's 3 left. There's Sunny, there's Kai, and there's Snowball. We're keeping Sunny until September, because that's going to my cousin. And Kai and Snowball don't have homes yet. Josh, do you want to rat me out? I'm not ratting you out, I'm just making a good clip. It's a great clip, though. Gotta fucking admit, that's a great clip. But that'll be for tonight. As right now, I am fucking dead. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, go watch the Shadow Slave video, like the full one. And if you've already watched it, watch it again. 2 times speed, all the way through. Tells YouTube you fucking liked it. Oh my god, I'm so fucking tired and so... What will you do when the Manhwa starts releasing, Josh? You're gonna stream it too? I'll probably stream the first Nightmare, and then I'll just probably make videos on it after that. Wow, this was short. It was short, but I have been dying. I always watch YouTube videos on 2 times speed, and if it was mine, you put it on 3. And anyway, that'll be it. Goodbye. I hope everybody enjoyed. I hope you all enjoyed your day. I hope you enjoyed puppy time. I hope you enjoyed learning about 2D animation and all that. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.